beginning, there was infinity. Infinity then discerned a concept. That concept was finity. Thus the universe was born. Light came to form the darkness. Energy began to move in increasingly intelligent ways. Physical matter began to form. The order took shape out of the chaos. A rhythm began to form. Out of this rhythm emerged the process of evolution, as regulated as the striking of a clock upon the hour. Our solar system is moving to a new vibrational configuration, which is resulting in dramatic changes here on Earth. These changes are pushing us towards a transition point. What's on the other side of this transition point, no one knows for sure. However, those who wish to venture past this point must have reached a moment in their development known as the choice. That is, they have to have a great degree of self-awareness. For those watching, you've likely made the choice at some point in your development. The choice involves the ways in which you choose to evolve yourself further. Evolution by expanding the system for the benefit of others, or by decreasing the system for the benefit of self. As seekers who have made the choice, it's important that we have an understanding of the evolution of growth and their density. This will be an exploration of that process. The work first begins with an understanding of the energy centers. The balance and understanding of each center is central to work in consciousness. Next, we begin to work with consciousness itself, exploring a concept known as the deep mind and the archetypes. This work in consciousness is a study of the evolution of spirit in their density. It is uncovering the blueprint for the evolutionary plan for creation. To begin, let's get familiar with a few concepts. You are made up of a mind, body, and spirit. Mind can be defined as the stage. This is where the inpourings of the spirit and the outpourings of the body are reflected. It contains what you know as feelings, emotions, and intellectual thoughts in its more conscious complexities. It is home to the unconscious genetic mind and the deep mind, the home of the archetypes. Body can be defined as a container. It's our way to interact in a physical universe. There are various bodies which you can inhabit. Currently, you are inhabiting a yellow ray vehicle. In death, you inhabit a different body, the indigo body. The colors of the energy centers can represent different bodies in potentiation. Spirit is a shuttle that allows the consciousness of an individual to access more directly the inpourings from the divine reality. It is our connection to Source, the true reality. Spirit is also the true source of free will, empathy, and wisdom, as those inpourings get funneled into mind and played out on the stage. These three aspects of ourselves are not independent, rather, they all interact and depend on each other. Thus, we can be said to be mind, body, spirit complexes. Complexes because within each area, mind, body, and spirit, are an infinite amount of expressions or ways of being. The expression is a result of dynamic tension between each. The ultimate result of this dynamic tension is a strengthening of spirit, or the shuttle, that allows one to traverse through the deep mind in order to access what is known as the gateway to intelligent infinity. A strengthening of spirit allows one's consciousness to be shuttled through to the gateway, allowing one to touch the infinite. To strengthen spirit requires the work in balancing the self. Tom Montauk of Montauk.net gives an excellent analogy when he says, "Progress arises when free will moderates the interaction between two opposite forces. This forms a trinity generically composed of an active force, passive force, and a neutralizing or balancing force. This trinity can be found everywhere that progress is to be found. Think of a guitar string. The tension of a string comprises the active force, inertia of the string creates the passive force, and the musician is the balancing force. From this is born music. Within individuals, the lower impulses form the passive force, higher spiritual callings of the heart form the active force, and you, the incarnated consciousness, form the balancing force by choosing between these two opposite polarities. From this is born the progress of your personal evolution. Beyond the material world lies the world of the divine, the real world. This is the home of the Logos. The Logos is an aspect of Prime Creator associated with thinking, reasoning, imagining, reconciling, balancing, planning, engineering, and informing. It is the divine architect of the universe. In a sense, it is the mind of the Creator. As an architect, the purpose of the Logos is to fashion and shape reality in order to gain experience. In an effort to maximize the distillation of all experience, Prime Creator created subsets of itself, known as sublogi, imbued with the power to create and harbor life. These sublogi fashion and shape experience for the sub-sublogi contained within, and so on. Each and every aspect of physical reality is a lower equivalent of something higher. We are mirrors of creation. As above, so below. Since forces above influence lower, we have a physical universe which can be considered a lower subset of a higher extension. The highest aspect of all is the Creator, of which everything is a lower extension. If the Logos is the mind of the Creator, the universe can be considered the body of the Creator, or its lower aspect. For the sublogi, the body can be represented as a galaxy. That is, they are a lower physical representation of the universe. They function as co-creators. For the sub-sublogi, the body can be represented as a star system. They are a lower physical representation of a galaxy. They too function as co-creators. You, as an individual mind-body-spirit complex, also have a sub-sublogi, which is your higher self. You can be considered the body of the higher self, that is, its lower aspect. As a logi, the higher self functions as a co-creator as well. It shapes and experiments with itself through the octave. Its lower aspects, you, incarnate in order to gather data or experience. Our galaxy stretches out in a spiral shape around a central point. This great galactic center, the central sun, can represent the Logos, that deep unending center from which all flows and all returns. It is interesting to note that at the center of our galaxy lies a supermassive black hole. The gravitational effects from this black hole result in the experience of a more timeless state for the older sub-sublogi, or star systems, which are closer to the galactic center. The younger sub-sublogi, which exists further out from the center, experience more time. In our individual lives, the further away from the center we are, the further away from higher self we are, the more we are swayed and influenced by outside forces and bodily influences. The more we are caught up in illusion, the more time we experience. The closer to the center we get, the less influence these forces have on us, the more timeless we become. However, there is no true center. The center keeps going infinitely. In summary, the Logos holds in balance, creates and informs the sublogi, who in turn holds in balance, creates and informs the sub-sublogi, who in turn holds in balance, creates and informs the sub-sub-sublogi, etc. Each logi has complete free will to experiment as it sees fit, to experience as it sees fit. This includes you as a sub-sub-sublogi. You can freely choose how to express and experience the creation. The Logos and its subsets are experimenting with life by creating novelty, That is, infinite creation is experiencing complexity or finity. Prime Creator is simple. Our experience is complex. This is why it is said that enlightenment ultimately is a stripping away of that which is not. It is the dissolving of the morning dew by the sunlight. The end goal of all this experimentation is the construction and synthesis of data. Experience is data to the logos. Once all experience has been had, the octave, or collection of densities, moves forward into a new octave. The logos is harvested into what's next. The universe begins again. This is why you are so important. Your experiences, no matter how mundane they may seem, are invaluable. As an individual, you are helping move the needle forward. You are finding new ways, new pathways, and new discoveries for Prime Creator. An octave can be described as a system of densities that evolving entities and social memory complexes move through. These are structured fields of light, the dreamscape projected by the Creator. The notes in the octave are represented by 7 colors. These colors represent the different ways in which intelligent energy can be expressed and experienced. They correspond within the logos as densities, where experience can be had. In the micro, our individual self, they represent different bodies which may be adorned and grown into. The culmination of lessons learned in one body allows one to seat their consciousness into another body. Thus, learning the lessons of yellow ray allows one to seat their consciousness in green, and so on. Within third density, it's possible to complete an octave or move through the 7 energy centers. This results in the individual becoming fully transparent, allowing the logos to shine through. It is said that when one completes an octave, they are no longer a person, but instead are a force. However, understand that you don a yellow ray chemical vehicle. Thus, for the experience of this lifetime, no matter how enlightened you become, you are a third density being. Reality is just as mystery-clad for you as it is for anyone else, regardless of which energy body you occupy. The only difference is, those that are consciously evolving through the octave are learning how to let go in order to allow more of the logos to move through. Thus, the most advanced also have the least. Evolving from one density or note in the octave means that you, as an individual mind-body-spirit complex, are able to handle a more refined and intense amount of light. You are, in essence, moving closer to the center of the universal logos, the center of the galaxy. Movement through the octave is the construction and synthesis of data. You construct data by experiencing. You synthesize data through dynamic tension, thus completing a 360-degree turn and beginning a new experience, spiraling forward to gather more data. The part of ourselves that processes this data or experience is known as the deep mind, and the process of spiritual evolution in third density is the study of what's known as the archetypes. We'll discuss these in part 2 of this video.